Welcome back to the Hutchinson Sports Arena. I am Nick Nielsen along with Brandon Goebel, but our special guest is winning coach Chris Bowman from Odessa. The game of the tournament, Odessa defeats Vincennes 58-56. Bo Ray with a massive dunk to take the lead there with about 20 seconds left in the game.
I wasn't very happy after he missed the box out on the free throw, but he came back and redeemed himself. And you know what? The kid's got great character, and I'm happy for him.
Talk a little bit about Willie Lightfoot. I thought he was just tremendous for you all day. 25 points. I thought he did a good job defensively, but he just got to the foul line a lot. Did a great job putting pressure on Vincennes.
Yeah, you know, we're only as good as Willie is. You know, he's kind of our leader, and we kind of go as he goes, and he was really good tonight. And, you know, that's a great team we just beat. Really well coached, tough, physical. I mean, they gave us everything we could handle, and, you know, it's two great teams, and it's a great tournament, and there's going to be great games all day long.
One of my favorite things about your team is just how aggressive you guys go to the glass. And if you would just talk a little bit about how important it was to go and get 16 offensive rebounds against a pretty good rebounding team.
Yeah, you know, we're built that way. We have to attack the paint. And, you know, I think we wore them down a little bit too. And I think that helped us. And, I mean, what a whale of a game. And like I said, they got a great team. And, you know, we got to move on. We got to play the winner of Indian Hills. And you tell me, Brandon, who's Indian Hills got? Walter State, who's Indian Hills?
Wallace State.
We got to play the winner of Wallace and Indian Hills, so you know they don't get any easier.
No. They don't get any easier. A great win today for yourself and your team and the whole Wrangler program. Yep. Congratulations, Coach. Enjoy this one. Enjoy
the next
kids.
Game. Go take a bubble bath.
Hey,
bring it down.
You guys are the best. Go Wranglers.
All right, go Wranglers. Take care. That is Coach Chris Bowman, the legendary bucket. Amazing game. I think it's safe to say that this was the best game of the tournament so far. It felt like a Final Four level basketball game. Brandon, what are your takeaways from this 58-56 Wrangler win over the Vincennes Trailblazers?
You know, what I think we saw here was that defensive pressure that they can put on at any given moment, just that physicality, that playing like their hair is on fire, even though Coach doesn't even have any. His hair is on fire at all times on that sideline. It really probably doesn't matter what the matchup is. They can bring that each and every night. And so, you know, depending on who comes out of this one, whether it's Wallace or Indian Hills, it's a different team than Vincennes. It doesn't matter. What they do that works well is going to work well no matter who they play.
When you play that physical style of defense, when you rebound, when you have a point guard like Willie Lightfoot who can control pace, they dictate pace. Right, you can't speed them up. They're going to take their time. Odessa, even though they are, I believe, the 13 seed, they come from Region 5. They're battle-tested. They're not going to be an easy out.
No, I mean, when you come from the Whack Jack like that, we were talking with him for a minute before we came on air, that he's used to those kinds of games. He's used to those just gritty, dogfight, you know, knock your teeth out kind of games. And honestly, he probably prefers that. So we'll see who comes out of this one here. You know, obviously Indian Hills is probably the favorite coming into this. Very different style, very up and down, very athletic, kind of skilled at all positions. They can play 5 out. They can score from everywhere. So, but because, like I said, what Odessa does well translates. It's like when you're talking about is a player going to translate to the Division I level? What do they do well that translates immediately? The things that helps Odessa win games translates no matter who they're playing.
Absolutely, and just kind of putting a final bow on this Odessa-Vincennes game, I thought Demarian Yates for Vincennes, the 6'7" freshman out of Tennessee, really showed out well for the Trailblazers. 22 points, 7 rebounds. I thought he was the shining spot really on a Trailblazer team that struggled to get going offensively today. But if we shall, let's turn our attention to game number 2. We got gentlemen you can see in the screen behind us from Indian Hills warming up. We have Indian Hills, Wallace State. Wallace State probably the Cinderella story of day 1. Jimmy Williams, who's kind of come out of nowhere, a 6'5" freshman guard from Cleveland, Ohio, that checks all the boxes. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists a game. A guy that can kind of do it all. And another young man that came out of nowhere, 6'9", P.J. Eason. A wall of a man who looks more like a defensive end, but there's a lot of Division I coaches here who are looking through their pamphlets saying, whoa, who this? He is a lot of man, and it's going to be really fun to watch P.J. Eason going against the big man Chris Impaka.
All he has to do is walk onto the floor, and everybody circles and says, yes, please.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
Yeah, I'll take one of those. Yeah, watching him and Chris Impaka go against each other is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Impaka's one of the most physical, athletic, just goes after everything big men in the country. But they are deep at Indian Hills. Wallace, not very deep. Goes about six players.
Yeah, so let's see. How did Wallace get here? They defeated Lee 76-64. PJ Eason, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Jimmy Williams, the All-American, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. They hit 8 out of 15 threes from that game. That's going to be really important for them to show that offensive efficiency. They hit 57% from the field. 2 matchups are going to be fun to watch today. Kristen Paka versus PJ Eason, which we already talked about. But Travion LeBeau versus Jimmy Williams. This is an opportunity, I think, for Travion to put himself amongst the Indian Hills greats, the C.J. Brutons, the Corey Hightowers, the Shelley Clarks, the Pete Michael. Indian Hills, back-to-back-to-back national championships, 97, 98, 99. Could this be the year the Warriors get one in this millennium?
You know, they have all the pieces, and the question mark for me earlier on in the season was their guard play. You know, Kenai Briggs took a little while to get going.
The Kannapolis kid.
The Kannapolis kid. TJ Morris took a while to get going, the transfer from NEO. Towards the end of the season, things started moving, and now their guard play has been very good. They're dynamic. They have a lot of different things they can throw at you. If they want to go more skilled at the 5, they can do that. If they want to go high-flying length at the 4, they can do that off the bench. You know, there's not a lot of teams that have the luxury of having no-brainer Division I players sitting there, you know, waiting for their opportunity. Indian Hills has probably got 8, 9 Division I guys on this roster.
Yeah, Brandon, one player I wanted to ask you about, we saw Demarion Yates for Vincennes, a freshman, 6'7", kind of come out of nowhere, have a monster game today, and people are certainly circling his name. It reminds me, Will Casey. I know you know the kid very well. He's 6'7", left-handed, ultra athletic. I think a no-brainer All-American this time next year. But I think it's very possible that he comes out here, has a monster tournament. Talk a little bit about Will and what kind of his attributes are and what he could bring to the table for this Hills roster.
Well, it's interesting because you think, okay, in this environment, is this scene too big for him as a true freshman, especially coming from France, you know, just not really understanding everything. Will Casey played at a very high level in France. He played Pro B U21, which for my money, Pro A and Pro B U21 in France is the best amateur leagues in the world for those kids. He's playing against high-flying athletes. He's playing against players that are going to make a lot of money in their career over there. Now he comes here. This is not kind of your traditional freshman, right? He's got a lot of experience, but he's still learning. He's still trying to figure out, you know, how the American game works, things like that. But what he does have is that ability to grab a rebound, put that ball on the floor, and take off and just tomahawk it on your face.
Yeah, he's an amazing athlete. Odessa over Vincennes, that's going to be the first non-bye team to punch a ticket into the Elite Eight. We have Indian Hills Wallace State. In our 2 nightcap games, Salt Lake versus Connor, Chipola versus Hutch. It's so important for these teams that have not been on the court yet to just hold their own in the first half. So yesterday, the 4 top seeds held court. Today, we have our first upset, if you want to call it that. There's really no upsets at this level.
No.
But I'm excited to see the next 3 games. Who are the final 3 teams to punch their ticket into the Elite Eight? Stay with us if you haven't done so already. All you Indian Hills fans out there, make sure you subscribe to ESPN Plus to watch the games live. And of course, you can listen to Russ W. Oker on the Indian Hills stream as well. But thanks for tuning in. We'll have updates all day long.